Previously on Bad Music Video Theater.
I quit!
Thanks for watching, everyone. I always appreciate people liking and sharing.
No, you cannot quit. The time of change is nearly at hand. The prophecy must be fulfilled.
Okay, I don't quit.
Okay, let's start this back up. Let's roll the clock back to 1986, shall we? In the high-paced 1980s, our culture was reaching a breaking point. Health and drug epidemics were raging across the country, the Cold War was heating up, and Oliver Stone showed the world the horrors of the Vietnam conflict. As these tensions were ratcheting, musicians took to songwriting to shine a light on these hardships. More and more songs became outcries about the frustrations of living in excess and possible global annihilation, and redefining what being an American truly meant. Guys, this feels really familiar, doesn't it? Amid these changing times, Genesis was putting the final touches on their newest album, Invisible Touch. The third single, Land of Confusion, tackled the world's issues head-on. These critiques were made apparent in the song's music video. Let's take a look. Oh God, no! Anything but puppets, please!
Hello, good evening. This is Mike Rutherford from Genesis. We thought we'd invite you here backstage so you can see what goes on at a concert before and after and during. You can see how we cheat, how we don't really play, how we mime, and it's all taped and stuff like that.
With the kids safely back in Canada, Genesis come together at the farm that October to start work on the record that will become Invisible Touch.
Genesis guitarist Mike Rutherford wrote Land of Confusion as a protest song against the craziness of the world.
I thought it's time, whatever age I was on, I can't remember, I thought it was time for a protest song. But the time was right, after all these years. But done in a fairly subtle way, you know.
We have nothing planned, so we go in and improvise. We play. It's not like John brings in a song and Paul brings in a song. I don't know any other band that works like we do, sitting around, improvising together until something forms. Every other band seems to be more organized, more boring than that.
I don't know. As a protest song, the lyrics seem pretty boilerplate. They don't really name anything specific, and they all basically boil down to, man, things are messed up, huh? And yeah, of course things were crazy and confusing. It was the 80s.
Take the lyrics to Land of Confusion. In this song, Phil Collins addresses the problems of abusive political authority.
But it also feels like a call to action that could fit anywhere. You could drop this song today and it would fit just as well. Billboard called the lyrics tentatively hopeful, which I think is just about the best description. But how does this all come back to terrifying puppets?
And he goes, oh, hello, I hope you don't mind, I brought my wife. And there's Princess Diana comes out of the shadows. And she holds in the doorway. And she says, I'm sorry we're going, but I'm quite glad we're going early. Because it's Spitting Image on tonight. And I'm going to watch it in my room. They hate it, of course, but I love it.
So there was this show in England in the 80s called Spitting Image. The show bent satirical, taking on pop culture and political figures at the time, all through the guise of puppets. It was basically a political cartoon come to life, with the key difference between them being that cartoons aren't this grotesque to look at. I don't know if it's the third dimension making them grosser, but I don't know how anyone can watch this. They're all lumpy and weird. In 1986, the show parodied Phil Collins with the song, Hello, You Must Be Going. Phil was apparently so irate that he was prepared to sue the show, but relented after re-listening to the song a few times. He must have really come around on the matter, because he later commissioned the show to create a music video for the band. And, well, the video begins with Ronald and Nancy Reagan going to bed at 4:30 p.m. or 16:30 because this is England and they forgot. Thank goodness they had time for a bedtime for Bonzo joke. 'Cause he's old and his bones creak. You really got him, Genesis. Gave one to the old Gipper. Every puppet is scarier than the last. Psh, only 4 necks? Come on, I've seen bigger. Where is this head swamp bank vault? What is this world?
What the is this world? What have they done to us? What did they do to us?
I'm very surprised that the band signed off on these likenesses. This mysterious jackbooted thug picks the heads out of the ground and, oh god, did you have to show the nerve endings coming out? Oh, they've got those cool Oppenheimer glasses. They all look like Cenobites. I really didn't need to imagine a puddle of Reagan sweat. I'm not quite sure I get the flying roasted chicken joke. Is this like a consequence of nuclear power or something? What's up here? Also, only $3.25. What a savings. Finally, some real people, and they're gone. We then get into the main thesis of the video. Reagan as an ineffective Superman against a variety of foreign leaders portrayed as supervillains. But they keep cutting between this, a Genesis concert, and weird celebrity caricatures. I do enjoy the second Phil Collins popping out from behind the drum kit. That's the one charming bit of the video. We then lose the plot here with this weird TV montage that I think is solely based on whichever puppets the spinning image guys just had lying around. Nixon, sure. Spock, got him. Bob Hope, why not?
Dinosaurs, weekdays at 5 on WB50.
It then fades into a dinosaur courting ritual and caveman dream sequence that ends in a 2001 A Space Odyssey reference because we've lost even the concept of trying to make a point with the video. Any potential political message that could possibly be gleaned from the song, however minor, is now thrown out the window for strange interludes. And then we get into the random celebrity cameo portion of the evening. Let's see, we've got Prince, Grace Jones, Tina Turner, Madonna, Pete Townsend, Michael Jackson, Bowie, Dylan, and Mick Jagger. Honey, I Shrunk the One actual person. Who are these aliens supposed to represent? I'm so sorry for whoever's baby was forced to be in this video. We then join We Are the World, already in progress. If you can tell me who any of these people are, please write in on a self-addressed postcard to Bad Music Video Theater, P.O. Box 15219. Heck yeah, this is some prime Cronenberg. Reagan wakes up from his nightmare absolutely drenched in sweat. You see, it's funny because he wanted to press the nurse button, but instead he pressed the nukes button. Oh, biting social commentary.
And he goes to call the nurse, and there's a button that says nurse and a button that says nuke, and he misses and hits the wrong one, and the whole thing blows up.
The video obviously was great fun to do for that, you know. I mean, it's the best video we ever did, far and away, because we're not in it. It's as simple as that.
While I was doing music research, the best testing artist of all was probably Phil Collins. Research showed that viewers never got tired of his videos, so they were played regularly, months or even years after they were hits. Phil Collins' management actually called MTV and asked us to play his videos less.
Like Land of Confusion, everybody, it was like number 2 MTV video of all time.
The song went to number 4 on Billboard, and the album went to number 3.
Which to this day is Genesis' best-selling album. Released 1 year after No Jacket Required, my best-selling album.
Reviews of the album were mixed, with many people complaining about the band's pivot from their rich sound tapestries to a more pop-oriented sound. It didn't help that the band's former leader had just put out an album a month before.
2711. To set him straight on Genesis Land of Confusion, dial 1-900-220-2722.
The video was nominated for 7 VMAs, but lost them all to a certain British solo artist who put out a landmark animated video.
Something very familiar about all this.
It did win a Grammy, though, for Best Concept Music Video. This was the first time this award was given, and after Weird Al won for the Fat video the next year, the Academy returned to the Best Video Short Form and Best Video Album format. The only Grammy Genesis ever won was for the Land of Confusion video, which, it's worth noting, we weren't even in. Sledgehammer won all the VMAs that year. That was a trailblazing video. No one had seen anything like that. Ours was more blatantly humorous, and Peter's was more artistic. I still have one of the Phil Collins puppets at home. The video was directed by John Lloyd from the Spitting Image production team and Jim Yukich, who was a very prolific video director. I swear I've seen this guy before. The video was so politically charged, but the only image that caused a stir was the Pope puppet playing bass. Tony Smith called and said, "Can we back off on the shots of the Pope? We don't want to piss off the Catholics." He directed other videos for Genesis, Phil Collins, and Mike and the Mechanics, as well as for Cheap Trick, Pat Benatar, and Iron Maiden. Oh, it says here he also directed Michael Jackson's Liberian Girl. That's it! I knew he looked familiar.
It all makes sense if you look at it.
There was a big TV show in England called Spitting Image with life-size puppets. I mentioned to Phil's manager, Tony Smith, that we should use the puppets for a video. It took a while to get the Spitting Image creators, Peter Flock and Roger Law, on board. For Land of Confusion, each puppet cost $10,000 to make. Not just the Genesis puppets, but the Ronald Reagan puppet, the Michael Jackson puppet, the Mikhail Gorbachev puppet, and there had to be 5 different Reagans. One with the president's brain missing, one where he was crying, and so on. They were so big, we needed 2 guys to operate each one. I could not imagine willingly paying $10,000 each for these puppets. Obviously, a lot of hard work and dedication goes into creating these, but picture dropping 30 grand and this is what you get back. Ultimately, the video is too goofy to make any of the points that it wants to. It really seems like they just wanted to make fun of Reagan and worked backwards from there. The world is definitely messed up, but I'm not sure that painting Reagan as a bumbling Superman is really going to convince anybody of that. And these horrifying puppets are too freaky and weird to garner repeat viewings. But really, who'd be scared of a puppet?
Hey everyone, it's me, Chris, the guy who makes the bad music video theater. Be sure to like and subscribe so you don't miss an episode. If you have a music video you're dying to see me cover, drop it in the comments. And as always, I'll see you in the next one.
I gave him the lyric, thinking I don't know if it's any good. I was a bit sort of, a fever and a temperature, thinking I think it's all right. You know what I mean?